Hello and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, good everything else in between. My name is Isioma Iloba, and I'm delighted to connect with you one more time as we gather steam and gather resources and gather information, wisdom, practical tools, and techniques for how women all over the globe can come together in a sisterhood to elevate each other, to support each other, and nourish each other to becoming all that we're born to be. And I'm going to start with a fairy tale, a folklore. But the topic for today's discussion is one stick cannot become two sticks. That is the sentence that I received when I was meditating today to figure out what do I need to bring to your attention. One stick cannot become two sticks. And so I'm going to go back to my African heritage from many eons ago. You know, the native elders, they know how to teach with stories and fables that deliver the lesson without any wagging of the finger. So the story goes like this. Many years ago, when the moon was golden and the sun delivered diamonds, at night it was calm and peaceful, and all the animals in the forest all over the world could sleep peacefully without being worried that being hunted down. Well, their world, things became chaotic, and their worlds all that it forced all of them to come together to find solutions. And one, one day, when men folk and women folk had gone to sleep, all animals decided to come to the ocean, came to land. The animal, all the animals from together. I just briefly summarize because the connection was lost there. So they all came together in a way that they could all see and stand witness to each other. And so the problem was that they were now faced with extinction, being hunted down, that important enough like the human beings were. And they had so many other issues faced with. And so these animals, yes. Well, the rabbit said, why don't we come up with a secret that they said, wow, that is amazing. Yes, that seems like the way you're going to hide the secret. And the whale said, oh, well, if you put it in my belly, he's never going to look for me. Were genius ideas, fantastic ideas. Really, eventually, every was a most amazing idea that no one else had ever thought of. Disconnected a little bit. I can see that visual here. Yeah. So as I was saying before the disconnect took place, The eagle came and said, I'm going to take and fly higher than any other bird. And the human beings will not be able to shoot me down because the arrows cannot get that high. And so the animals all came together with really creative ideas. Many of them were brilliant, but eventually they settled for one. The tortoise said, well, why don't you hide this secret in the heart of man and woman? Because I can tell you, they will look for the solution everywhere external, but they will never find it themselves. And so all the animals clapped loud and said, yes, this is a brilliant idea. And the meeting was concluded. And they all went back to their different territories. This is the African elders' way of saying that the secret for survival of the human race and animals and every being all over Mother Earth is actually found within themselves. And I say this because we women worldwide have gotten into the habit of trying to split ourselves into multiple personalities, so to say. You live as a wife, you live as a CEO, you work as a support staff, but all the while, what is the common factor is that we are being forced and we have voluntarily taking on the role and abandoning the feminine. See, that is where become two sticks principle shows up very clearly. Cannot inhabit two worlds effectively and yet deliver what we were born to deliver. Our greatest ability as women is to go into our hearts, to connect with the sacred quality that we were created with. No one else. You don't see animals trying to become like us. Well, sometimes we do, we try to raise them, but at somewhere along the line, you know that our trying to inhabit the masculine world has actually created a lot of toxicity. That is not our domain. We can lead effectively as women, but without having to abandon our feminine essence. And that is the point that I'm making. Many of us women all over the world, we have experienced incredible trauma, incredible abuse, incredible pain and suffering. And that has created sorrow and grief and sadness and disease and fear and anger. All that crept into our being, into our experience, because we surrendered ourselves. We gave up our God given heritage as women. And that is why that vacuum that was created has to be filled by something else. You know, if you remember in high school, it was taught very eloquently, if your teacher was good, that there's no vacuum on earth. Nothing in the universe is a vacuum. Because as soon as you take something out, something else has to go in there. And so that happened for us women worldwide. This is a time to recognize that two sticks. You cannot be fully a woman and yet also fully embody the masculine world. It cannot happen. You may receive temporary confirmation that what you have for, but many women worldwide have also said they have achieved the titles, they have gotten the money, they have gotten the position, but they're experiencing deep sorrow, deep pain that does not go away. So the accomplishment becomes empty because you have or they have abandoned ship. They have raised the anchor and floated into somebody else's ocean without even realizing it because of all the negative messages that we have received about the need to fit in and be like XYZ person. And so those wrong messages given over our generational lifetimes maybe even coming from the trusted ones, our ancestors, our grandparents, our parents, and our wise elders who didn't know any better. Those messages created the poison that have created incredible separation from our authentic self. So, this is a time to go back into the one and only that you are, the joyful, uplifted, inspired, empowered, aligned. Can you think of other descriptive words? I hope you can. This is a time to come together to figure out how can we go back footsteps. And I'll be pleased to tell you that unlike talk therapy, where people have to go back to regurgitate, to dig up the painful past and eyes and make you regret and point fingers at this person or that person who did that to you, who didn't do that to you, you don't need to go there. With what I'm presenting in this weekend's workshop on the 28th, you will be given the path forward. Instead of going backwards to figure out how you can go forward, you can start from where you are. Just like a GPS. In your GPS, has it ever asked you, where have you? No, it asks you, where are you now? Where do you want to go? Those are the only two that it wants from you. And the journey back using the power of the soul, exactly like that. It's asking you, where and where do you want to go? I have yearned to return to my authentic essence for many decades. And I have now found a pathway forward using the wisdom from a lineage that is 373 persons strong, providing incredible longevity, incredible trials and errors that others have worked out the kinks of. And you now get to benefit from these tools that have worked for many other people worldwide. And now it's your turn to access this ancient wisdom made available and simplified for the modern era, so that every hurried and harried and hassled woman that is out there that wants to reinvent herself, bring the best foot forward in 2026, move forward with a gate that tells the world that you are the queen of your domain. No one else can shake you. You know what you're here to deliver. And that's the other thing that we lost. We lost the essence, the master key to begin to hear the message and the vision and the mission that we are meant to deliver on Mother Earth. Every woman has a different mission. But because we've abandoned ship and given it up to the masculine world, we don't have we don't have access to that inner compass anymore. And so many of us don't know what we're here to do. We yearn to discover it. We want to find it. And we keep poking holes here and there. We try baking this way, aligning this, and it's all empty because it's not coming from an authentic place of empowerment, of certainty, of alignment with your soul. Your soul, not going into a religious teaching because this is not religious. It is a very practical tool that I would share with you guys. Your soul, or the information that you are born with, the informational field, energetic field that you are born with, holds the master key of what you're supposed to do on Mother Earth at this time. But because the heart has been closed, because of the extraordinary hurt and harm that we've had to endure, we don't have access to that for most women. We cannot penetrate that pain. We're shut, closed. We've thrown away the key. But now you can reconnect with the master key that you have within you. The tortoise said, bury it inside the human body. And so the heart is a key for reconnecting with our true, authentic blueprint. This blueprint holds the secrets for our joys, our liberation, our empowerment. Not to say that we're going to bedevil the men folk, not at all, because we gave up the right. They didn't do that to us. We gave it up. And so we claim them. If you open up the door and the thief walks in the door, is the thief going to be blamed? No, you opened up the door. So it is with us. We open up the door for that kind of exploitation. We weakened our position and let go of what we know is true. So now is the time to reclaim that destiny. This is destiny that has waited for you for decades and even more from the time that you were created till now. That's a long time. We were born with that knowledge. We were born with that innate wisdom that we hold within. But now, where is it? It's still hiding within. It's still there, secure. We haven't lost it at sea. We may have raised the anchors and floated here and there, but we still hold it within. And this weekend, on the 28th at 10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, we are going to come together with women worldwide to rediscover what we're here to do and how to accomplish that with our greatest love. My teacher taught a very powerful one sentence secret, and he says, love heals all blockages, forms all life. And I'm not talking about the love, the romantic love. Yeah, you may have that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a deeper kind of love that heals all, that lets you surrender the pain into a sacred field so that it's washed away and the mountain of agony can be minimized and reduced so that the diamond that you have within can shine, can illuminate your heart, can illuminate your soul, and reconnect you with the joy of your being. That is what we'll be covering this coming weekend on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. But for now, if you can just humor me for a few minutes, I want you to grab a piece of paper and even on your cell phone, you can do this, a notepad or an email, a draft, and write me. If you could visualize your authentic Patricia Miller or authentic uh, Diane, what would she be like? What would she feel? What would she sense all around her? Just pour it out on that piece of paper or in that email. You could even title it Letter to My Divine Self. Oh, that is powerful. Yeah, I want you to remember the girl who could giggle, the girl who could laugh, the girl with no shame, who could talk in the classroom filled with people, not embarrassed to raise her eyes to the clouds and say, "This is who I am." So do that for just a few more minutes. Just brain dump. Don't put it in any order. Don't worry about spelling. Just don't edit. Don't edit yourself. Just pour it out. Don't think about what is correct, what is not correct. Just do that now. Who is that authentic divine self? What would they be saying to themselves and others? What would they be eating when they feel hungry? What would they drink? What would they say no to? What would they not at this time? What would they say when somebody puts them down? How would they handle frustration? How would they handle feelings of lack of self worth? What would they prefer to have instead? How well are they connected to their, whether it's in a spiritual, whether it's in a religious context, doesn't matter. Are you going to take on this journey with you? Or which saint would you allow them to escort you on this journey? Masculine saint, feminine saint, it doesn't matter. What religion, doesn't matter. What spiritual tradition, doesn't matter. Do you read teacher that you adore? How would that conversation go? What kind of work would this person like to do instead of what you're doing now? How would you know that you are empowered in this work? How would you know that this work is the only work that you were meant to do? In what would your friends say about you if you died tomorrow after you have accomplished all that you were meant to accomplish? What would they write on your gravestone? What would you want them to write on your gravestone? Like to wear that make you feel va 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 voom, hoo hoo. What would your hair be like? Would you allow it to grow out or keep it short, just like I am? What is most comfortable for you? What kind of textiles that make you feel feminine and sexy in a powerful way? What do you normally like to drink when you have your meals? Or even when you're not having your meals? When you want to connect with your feminine essence, what do you latch onto? There's so many questions that you can answer in this brain dump process. And I want you to take that exercise because, truth be told, that's a part of you that you may have forgotten even existed. You may have forgotten that little girl years ago, maybe when she was a baby, maybe she was 5 years old when she was ridiculed the first time and she shrunk to fit into the mold that she was presented. This is a time to knock on her door and say, I'm back. I'm here to stay. I'm so glad I didn't forget you. This is to revisit kindergarten and bring those memories back into your reality and allow the little girl to grow up to be is. Because the soul that you are is not a little girl. She's a mature woman ready to serve her community with all that she's been given. So when I end this broadcast in a few seconds or a few minutes, I want you to go to the love letter I posted below, on top, or beside this broadcast for you so you can read it and understand more about what this broadcast is all about and what our gathering on Saturday is. Help us put it together so that you can grow with the power of love. I'm not talking about the woo kind of power of love. This is the serious, most powerful force in the universe. Did you know that? There's love and there's fear. Those two. And on Saturday, you'll be engaging. You have the privilege of engaging with the power of love on 5 levels. Get ready. I wait to see you there. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of the day. I am keep this page up for a few minutes. I'm going to post the letter within the next 5 minutes or so and come back to that. Maybe once you finished having your dinner or your meal break or your tea or your coffee, I'm going to post the letter there. And I look forward to having you. If you have any questions, if there are specific areas that you'd like me to tackle, that in the comments below. And please also share this message with your female folk, the co-worker that you love, the co-worker that you don't quite like. Because the reason why she's being difficult is because she's also experienced the same pain that you've experienced, but maybe in a different context, maybe in a different environment. And she does not feel free to discuss it with you at this point in time. So she's become the enemy, right? But there's a reason why she's in pain. So send it to your mothers, your grandmothers, your nieces, your sisters, your girlfriends, and all those, even your brother's wives or girlfriends. They also need this message. Share this message with them. Let us all help each other, set each other free, because nobody needs to suffer in silence anymore, especially when we got a whole bunch of women worldwide to help us dig out of the pit. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Namaste. And like my teacher always says, and you can say this with me, I have the power to heal and transform life. You have to heal and transform your life. Together, we have to transform the world. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.